So after the assault combat here, look at the Marine position again. Basically, I'm going to start or pick up again with moving troops. Two things: I'm just going to get the Marines quite a bit forward, close the distance with the North Koreans, and starting next turn, I'm going to look at this indirect fire or indirect fire opportunities. So pick up with movement again. Here at the top of hill, or was it observation hill, this platoon and machine gun. So again, they're going to go switch from fire to move mode, which is going to cost half of the movement points. So the infantry platoon spent 3 points to switch to move mode. Machine gun section spent 2 points. So with the machine gun, they have two movement points left. They're going to start heading down the hill. So they're going to go 1 and 2. Get on the road there. They're underneath the hopefully the watchful eye of this platoon and machine gun here. And we'll go ahead and start. And I'll move this one too. Exact same concept, same idea here. Switch to move mode. Machine gun and infantry platoon together. They'll go down behind the ridge here. So so they spend 2 movement points left for the stack. So 1 left, and then come over here. Are they going up? Are they going up? You know, I think they are going up. So that would be, I think that would be an extra movement point, which they don't have. So they will, well, they'll just stay there for now instead of going down the hill some more. They'll stay there for now. Now, in preparation for, wait. No, the mortars will stay in fire mode. The AT guns there. The North Koreans here are not suppressed. And these AT guns have a range of 8-point firepower of 3. They'll wait, see how the situation develops. Okay, so we'll say the Marines are done with step 4 of the action of the Marine action phase. So then we go to 5, step 5. Okay, the phasing player, so that's the Marine player, may remove suppressed and reduce paralyzed markers if desired. Non-phasing player may conduct overwatch fires at stacks recovering from being suppressed or paralyzed. Resolve any overstacking. Now, this is a interesting rules detail of TCS. At the end of your action phase, you make the choice about attempting to recover suppression and paralyzation, but there's a lot going on here, and so I'm going to use this as an example here. So this the stack here after the close assault, the Marines are suppressed, so I'm going to choose to recover the suppression. So it just comes off. but the fact that the fact that these troops in this hex conducted, I'm not sure if it's actually called recovery, but because they attempted to recover, that is a fire trigger for Overwatch fires. And specifically, in the rules, again under Overwatch, rules section 15, yep, there's actually, the separate section. So Overwatch cycles, just something to pay attention to. So movement-based Overwatch cycle, we had that. That includes the Overwatch return fire. Their fire-based Overwatch cycle, basically if there's an SFA, PFA, AA, or on-map artillery mission is executed by player A, player B may conduct Overwatch against one firing hex. And then this is what we're going to do now, recovery Overwatch cycle. The cycle occurs when a player has declared a unit in a stack to be recovering, okay, so they do call it recovery, from suppression or paralysis. So first recovery is conducted, we did that, we removed the suppressed marker. And then the Overwatch fire by player B, North Koreans in this case. And then just one more time, there's that final Overwatch cycle, which we actually executed that as part of the assault combat. Okay, so these Marines are going to recover here. I think these guys, yeah, that's not going to make much difference. So primarily to show the mechanics, the adjacent North Korean AT gun is going to conduct Overwatch fire against the trigger, which was the Marines recovering. Again, the AT gun is a point fire, so he will fire 1/2 its firepower as area fire against area targets, the Marines in that hex. Okay, so should be straightforward. Okay, fire mechanics. Unity firepower does not apply. Area target stacking, this does apply because we have a full strength infantry platoon plus 2 machine gun sections for a total of 9 steps. So that is +1 column shift. The AT gun is a low trajectory fire, firing at 1 hex, range of 1 hex, which is +2 columns. So now we're up to +3 columns. The Marines are in fire mode in open terrain, so it's 0, nothing. So we still have +3 columns. Now see if any of these apply. Night, illuminated, road moving, all suppressed or paralyzed does not apply because they already recovered suppression. P2s, there are no suppressed or paralyzed fires, no crossfire, no art attack, no. So it's +3 columns. Start on the 1 column for 1/2 the AT firepower, +3 up to the 4 column. The North Koreans roll of 42, which is just barely enough for a morale check. There's 40 under 4 column, 42 to 56. Dice roll is 42. Read across, morale check. So the Marines who have just recovered from suppression have to check morale again. As we already looked at during the assault, they are all morale level 2. So that is unit morale 2. No step losses on that stack. Battalion morale has not kicked in yet. Modifiers, none apply. So it's just on the 2 column. The Marines roll a 12. They easily pass, no effect. So they successfully recovered right in the face of that North Korean AT gun. So that is good. It is good in the sense that now we have a good state Marine stack adjacent to that hex, adjacent to that enemy position there. We'll go ahead and do the same thing. Well, see, here's where, okay, now we're looking at a Marine platoon here that already has 2 step losses. Yep. This might be a situation where with the Marines coming up behind, maybe the Marine player chooses to not recover the suppression on that stack, being immediately adjacent to a machine gun section and an infantry platoon. So let's say the Marine player decides not to recover that suppression. So those troops, the leaders in that hex, are basically keeping their soldiers in a suppressed mode, behind cover, in the prone position, or whatever the case may be. So they will do that. And then that is the fourth step of the Marine action phase. Now we pick up the action phases for the North Korean player. He does not have any fire markers to remove. No. No smoke or loom to remove. No reinforcements to place. Now he's going to do all of his actions. So again, mode changes, movement, suppressive fire actions, point fire actions, vehicle impulses. It doesn't apply here, but those are also done within this step of the phase. Assaults, overruns, minefield breaches, minefield crossings, and then we conduct overwatch throughout this phase or step of this phase as appropriate. So what will the North Koreans, let's do an SFA. Let's do an SFA. Let's now this North Korean stack is going to conduct a suppressive fire action against that suppressed Marine platoon in the adjacent hex. So now this will be an SFA. Real quickly, kind of a preview. Suppressive fire actions has its own rules section. That's 13. So real quickly, suppressive fire actions allow units from one or more hexes to attack a target hex with a single area fire. So I'm going through the mechanics of the SFA, but this is not taking advantage of the. Wait a minute. Maybe we can get. Oh no, that higher terrain is actually blocking. That hex cannot see over the rise there to the Marines. Yeah, actually there are no other North Koreans that can. Okay, well, a quick look, anyways, tells me that none of these other North Koreans can jump in on this SFA. So, anyways, but I'm going to go through the mechanics, anyways. But this is where we get multi-hex, basically fire groups. So conducting an SFA is the only way for units in multiple hexes to engage in a common area fire attack in one fire combat. To conduct an SFA, fulfill the various requirements and announce the fires in target hex. Mark any units firing SFA with fired markers. So unlike Overwatch fire, when we're done here, that hex, those units are going to be marked, will be marked fired. Rules and restrictions. So I think that everything is. I think that they fulfill all requirements. Okay, real quickly, SFAs do not require a trigger. Basically, they see the target, they decide to engage it. Yeah. So okay, so go ahead and go through the fire procedures. So again, we start at or I like to start at the top here for infantry firepower. We have that full strength North Korean infantry platoon there at the bottom of the stack. So he is going to contribute 1/2 at 1 hex range or adjacent. He's going to contribute to 1/2 of his infantry steps. Again, I believe it's rounded up, so that's adding 3. So the firepower of the infantry alone is now 8, plus 2 for the machine gun is 10. So he starts with a base firepower of 10. The stacking, now, by the way, we've gone down. So this is a 5 strength Marine platoon with 2 step losses. So that's 3 remaining steps. when you look on here, there is a 3 to 4 row for area target stacking. You look across, there's a -1, but there's an asterisk. And the asterisk says applies to artillery and unspotted SFAs. This is a spotted SFA, and this is not artillery, so it doesn't apply. So it's just nothing. So still firepower 10, no column shifts. Now we have an infantry unit firing at 1 hex range, and we have a low trajectory fire. That's the machine gun firing at 1 hex range +2, no difference. So now we're up 2 columns. The Marines are in, again, make sure you check, that Marine platoon is in fire mode. So he's in fire mode, but he's in, okay, actually let's do a quick, so remember he's in a rice paddy hex, but he's on the road. Let's review that real quick. In the game rules, you want to pay attention to all of the under the general special rules. You want to make sure you understand all the terrain rules. There is a 1.1 Bravo paragraph or section for rice paddies. So rice paddy hexes are prohibited to all vehicles, AT guns, and infantry guns unless on a road, in which case any fire against them always okay. What applies here? Road moving target modifier regardless of mode. Mortars, facts, and recoilless rifles. Units may not enter fire mode. Okay, that doesn't apply. Eliminated. You know what? I don't think they are in road. Yeah, the road moving does not apply. I don't know why I was saying that. At this point, they're suppressed. They've moved to available cover. Road moving is not going to apply. So what does apply? I guess you go to the rice paddy. Okay, combat it's still open. Okay, so we just consider it open. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it is open. So fire mode open is 0. So we are still at up 2 columns. And none, see under road moving, just to clarify, under road moving, it has a note 2. Note 2 is overwatch or moving through artillery. Doesn't apply here. Okay. But all suppressed or paralyzed does apply. Note 3, not at range 0, we're at range 1. So all suppressed or paralyzed. All the Marines are suppressed in that hex, so this does apply. So that's a -2. So they are harder to hit. They're less of a target, is another way of putting it. They're less of a target because they are suppressed. So that -2 is going to negate the range benefit. So now we're at even. The fire, nothing applies. Both, nothing applies. So actually it's even. So it's just 10 firepower. Even, no column shifts. North Koreans make their attack, roll of 45. 45 is in the 25 to 51 range. Read across, morale check. So now the Marines will check morale. We'll go through this again. The infantry platoon there has a unit morale of 2. That's the red 2 on the far right, bottom of the counter. So unit morale is 2, plus step losses, again, 2 step losses, so we add 2. Battalion morale is not kicked in yet, plus mods. So we're already to 4. Party attack zone, paralyzed, night, dug in, P2, crossfire, partly protective, no, and nothing. So no modifiers. So they will roll morale on the 4 column. Marines roll a 52, not good, you want lower numbers, but it is still just suppressed. They are already suppressed. I don't think that there are any effects for compound. Yeah, I just wiped out my North Korean positions there. I don't think there are additional effects for compound suppression. Don't think that there are. Morale. This is definitely morale. Suppression. Yeah, okay. 17.3 delta. Additional suppressed results have no further effect. Exception C 22.0 Charlie, assault combat. Yes, there are exceptions. You'll want to pay attention to those in close assault, but this is not close assault, so additional suppressed results have no further effect. They just stay suppressed. All right, so to finish off this little action, the Marines are still suppressed. Now the North Koreans still dug in, still adjacent, and a fired marker will be placed on them. And I'm going to take a quick pause here.